What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Black Man Unfiltered Network. Get your popcorn ready. Ladies, get your glass of wine together right now. Sip it, because we're about to take you on an emotional journey that you've never been on in your life. You're going to laugh, you're going to cry, you're going to be mad, you're going to be happy, you're going to agree, you're going to disagree, and that's what Black Man Unfiltered is about. We want all of you to have a voice, and this is the place where voices are heard. So thank you guys, because we're going to have the conversations that nobody else wants to have, and we're going to come to a medium, we're going to come to solutions, or we're going to agree to disagree, but you're in the right place to do it. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and I want to introduce you guys to all the shows that's on the network coming up on this next slide. Peace!
Boss. Listen, guys, I'm coming to you with something new and very exciting. It's called I Choose You. Yes, it's a new dating show, and we want all of you to get excited about it. Yes, it is a dating show. It's going to be a virtual dating show. We want all you bachelors and your bachelorettes to get excited about it. So stay tuned for I Choose You.
Driving around in California, looking for something to make me stay. Round and round forever searching for something that could never get replaced. Don't need you to save me, but I just really need to be saved. I'm just so sick of waiting for any luck to come my way. Yeah.
I don't mean to put it on your nose, but it's clear how my baby's running this the block, cause you fear what you do to you if you get dirty hands and veneer. What you do, what she is, little boy, I tell you this: if baby won't sit, she can sit. If baby says lit, it's lit. Got your bank account and that cute. If she said it loud, it's the truth. If baby wanna ride, she can ride. If baby needs some time, she got time. Got your bank account and that cute. Make it count, how about you? She would put you in the bag, wouldn't even need a planet. If she wanted, she a magnet. They to fly if you meet her, know it's true. So if she ever asks you, you know that baby wants to say she can.
What's up? What's up, family? What's up, everybody? This is your boy, Mandrell. Welcome to a very, very special episode of Unapologetic with Mandrell. That's me. Okay, and tonight we have a very special guest. And but first, I'd like to thank everybody who showed up to support the show, support the network, the platform as a whole, Black Man Unfiltered Network. And so first, let me dive to the comment section and see who's here. Candid Ann, thank you for coming so much. Von Bryan, as usual, every week you're here, brother. Thanks for the support. I strongly appreciate it. Can't tell you guys how much this means to me. Candid Ann, always a sweetheart. Big Bad Bull, what's up, little bro? And the lovely and absolutely fantastic Jenny Morena, one of the best moderators in YouTube, period. Okay, who else we got? Princess K, thanks for coming. Appreciate it. All right, I mean, that's all we have in the comments, but okay, listen, everybody. Tonight's episode is special because I wanted to get into something that no one really gets into, like ever, but we hear people all the time talk about we need representation in this, that, and the other. What we don't see a lot of is representation in show business in Hollywood. You know, not as much as we should have, at least, you know. So tonight I have a very special guest who's going to give us the inside track on, well, for one, why it's been so difficult, and two, what you can do to get started, and three, what to look out for as a whole, because there's a lot. All right. I think we'll start. I have a video to show you to introduce my guest, for one. All right. Roll the video.
All I do is film, honey. I don't work a 9 to 5. I work 11 to 8:30. I work overnight. That's what I work.
One of the misconceptions about being actors that you make tons and tons of money. But the average actor doesn't make tons and tons of money. The average actor works a day or a night job and auditions. And like that's pretty much the bulk of the life of an actor. You're always auditioning. It's audition after audition after audition.
What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Mac Wilds, and this is #ActorsLife.
I'm coming in.
I'd gotten to a point where I realized that auditioning alone wasn't enough.
It's not like you can go in at entry level and you work that position for a while and you get promoted. And then you work that position for a while, you get promoted. You can go from being on the Z list to the A list overnight.
Oh, thanks for just like the demeanor. I'm feeding my fam. I'm feeding the meter.
All right. Are we back? Okay. Without further ado, after that little clip, let me introduce you to someone who's very near and dear to my heart. The most talented person I know, and my kid's sister, Shamaria Harris.
Hi. Oh.
Hey, what's going
Precious. Hey, Precious.
How you doing tonight?
I'm good. How you doing?
Doing all right.
I'm good.
Like my background? Melodrama.
Of course.
This is your thing. You know what I'm saying? This is your thing. A lot of people don't even know what this means. Start with this. Because I mean, I've seen this before, and you know, for my whole life, I had no idea what it meant, but I've seen it around because you know I've been around art. And Luke Ainsley, how are you? Thanks for coming. This is my little sister, believe it or not, and everyone in the chat and watching. Yes, same DNA, same parents. Yes, this is my blood sister. Okay.
Right.
I get it all the time. Right. They're like, that's your sister? I'm like, yeah, that's your real sister? Yes, my real sister. Y'all grew up together? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Same house, same parents. We grew up
Right,
together.
Yeah.
You know,
I look like both our parents, whereas Carlos looks more like our dad. So
you know what? That's true. I couldn't deny him if I wanted
you.
to.
Hey, yo.
Like, I don't believe you. Yeah. Yeah. Luke Paisley, thank you. Luke, thanks for coming. Luke Paisley said, oh, she's beautiful. Thank you, Luke Paisley. She is. And also, she does have, just so everyone knows, she does have a YouTube channel. I'm going to post that link there.
Yeah.
I just posted it in the chat. Hey, OG Patrice. Like I said, OG Patrice, this is my little sister, Shamaria Harris. All right. First, start off. Tell us these masks. One is smiling, right? Looks happy. The other one's sad. What does that mean?
Well, they're the comedy tragedy faces of the theater. Initially, like in Greek and Roman theater, like most plays were either comedies or tragedies. So they represent the comedy or the tragedy, which is why you have one that's smiling and one that's crying.
Okay. There's Jay Takashi. That's a good friend of mine too that I met here on YouTube. He's a good guy.
Actually, just go and tell people the truth. This is your way of making up to me because my Instagram got hacked, right? And I was looking for my brother to help save my account because Instagram was not trying to help me at all. So, and my brother, he's very, very tech savvy, like very tech savvy with computers and stuff like that. And all I asked him to do was hack the hacker. So I give my account back and he wouldn't do it. Talking about he didn't know how to do it. He couldn't do it. Okay. So this is his way of making up to me that I lost my Instagram account. Look, he's just trying to be like, all right, okay, all right. So,
look at New Growth. New Growth said, how tall is she? See, people are calling my height because I'm 5'8", right? They're always talking about how short I am. But New Growth, tell them how tall you are. So everybody wants to 5'5". Yeah, see, she's shorter than me. So there.
Oh, y'all thought I was taller than him.
So
that's
there.
Hilarious. Hey, yo, they going in on you.
Brittany B. We got Brittany B in the building.
Hi, Brittany B.
Yeah, Brittany B. This is my little sister. Okay. And New Growth, yeah, ha ha ha. I got you. All right. So I brought you here because, like, people don't talk about Black people in show business, but we see it all the time. And we only see people who got big names, like, and the people who paved the roads, like for comedy. There's Moms Mabley, there's Red Fox, Step and Fetch It. You know what I mean? Like I think you and I were talking, and you were saying that these people weren't really trying to blaze any trails; they're just trying to make a living. You know what I'm saying? They like, and the crazy stuff like Step and Fetch It, he would do is like he had two phones, right? One phone he pick up and be like, "Hello, yes, how are you?" You know, and then the other phone he pick up when it ring, he pick up and go, "Hello,
yeah, right."
Who is it? He sound like kind of like a buffoon because that's the number he would give white people to call. So when white people call, he sound like the character he played on stage and on film.
Right. Well, because that's what they thought he really was in real life. They thought, and that speaks true to today. People believe what they see. And when people see you online, say, I hear show business is a daily struggle and stuff. It is.
Yeah.
Like when people see you on camera, on screen, they think that that's who you are in real life. And that's why when people see you on the street, if they seen like the work that you've done, they will come up to you as if they know you. And they don't. You know what I mean?
It's like this, we had the same thing with, like, say, Mike Tyson, where he's on a plane and this kid gets throwing water bottles and stuff at him. Oh, what's up, Suzette? Auntie, I guess. Yes, Suzette. My guest tonight. This is my sister, actually. Yes, my actual blood sister. Yes, the same parents. Yes, we grew up together. I can't grow a beard. Tell him. I've never had one. I've never had one.
He can't do it. Like he's tried. And we was just like, just cut that off. It's not working.
Right. Yeah, I've tried. Yeah, because it grows in patches and stuff. Right.
Right.
So
yeah.
like,
Just cut that off.
Let me just get it razor and shave it off.
Yeah,
doesn't work.
Yo, they are killing me.
You see how they do me? See how they do me? I knew it. Look, I knew if I had you on, this is gonna happen. They're gonna clown me. Look, I was ready for it though. I'm ready for your jokes, everybody. I'm not worried about it. Y'all know y'all don't bother me. Okay, like so is that what you're talking about? Like people get too familiar, and like this guy was messing with Mike Tyson, and Mike Tyson turned around and beat the stew out of this kid. Rightfully so, in my opinion. You shouldn't have been messing with it. It's Mike Tyson.
Right.
I think a lot of these young cats these days forget that Mike Tyson used to make a living whipping ass. Whipping ass. Yeah. So, I mean, you know, an actor shared a story about getting punched in the face because the woman was mad at his.
Yeah, Danny Glover. When he did The Color Purple, he was hated for years because of that role. Like people see you in certain roles and stuff like that. Like they really believe that that's who you are.
So what causes that? Why is it so difficult for people to have that separation, like from character on screen to an actual real person? Because Danny Glover clearly wasn't Mr., but he's told stories where he's been spat on and everything else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, it goes back like to the images of what people see. You know, and the whole thing of, you know, first impression is the lasting impression. Like, you know, this is their first time seeing you, or even, like anytime they see you, like that's what they see. And they think that that's who you are in real life. Like, you know, I've heard all kind of crazy stories. Like, what's the chick name? I forgot her name. She played Ghost's mistress on Power. I got a chance to talk to her, and she was saying how, like, you know, people see her in the street, like cuss her out and all of the stuff. And she's like, okay, you know, well, thanks for watching the show. You know what I mean? Like, she's just playing a role, but like people actually like hate her.
Yeah, in real life.
In real life,
like character on a television program on Showtime. Right. Okay, and Freelance HD. This is now Freelance HD. This is a good cat. He's a good guy. I like him. He's a solid dude. All right, now first question I guess I'd like to ask you is that like, how does one start a career in show business? Like you and I grew up in Alabama. You know what I'm saying? So how did you start off? You know what I mean? How does one go about doing that?
Well, like, I mean, you know, I was always like a writer. Like I was always into writing. And initially when I finished high school, I wanted to write and direct films. Like I wanted to be a female Spike Lee. And what ended up happening was the school I wanted to go to, the college I wanted to go to, I just felt like it was like way too expensive. And I just couldn't see being out of like, you know, the amount of money they were asking, and they couldn't even guarantee me I would get a job when I graduated. So I was like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. And so I ended up, you know, I went to Alabama State, and the closest thing in entertainment they had to offer was theater. So I ended up studying theater, and I got into acting there, and it just took off from there.
Okay, yeah. And so then you moved to New York City, right? Moved to New York. That's right, to the Grand City. Right. And my favorite place in the world to go visit.
Oh, yeah.
I love that city. It's on demon time. If you have never been to New York City, everybody, you have to go. That entire city it's on demon time, like 24/7. The entire city.
Matter of fact, it's starting to look real 1989, real 1990s right now.
It is pure chaos 24/7 in New York. I love it. I love it. There's something around every corner. I love it. Okay. So first of all, I guess if you live in the South, I guess number one is get out of the South. You go to New York or Los Angeles, right?
Right. Well, around that time, film like wasn't really big in Atlanta. So I wasn't gonna go to Atlanta. You either went to New York or you went to LA. And even though today, like, even though like they do film a lot in Atlanta, but they also film like a lot in like North Carolina. They also film a lot in Canada. I mean, they still hire actors out of New York and LA and fly them down to Atlanta or like wherever they're shooting and then fly them back.
Right.
So it's crazy. But yeah. Back to your original question too. You were asking like, how do people get into acting?
Yeah. How do you get into
First
acting?
things first, get you some headshots. Headshots are basically like pictures. It's just a I guess an 8x10 size picture. It's just basically like your face and like maybe like your shoulders or whatever. And try and find you an agent or a talent manager, preferably an agent. But you know, you can go about doing that through either talent showcases or like you can either do a Google search to see what kind of agencies are in your city, and like you know, you can do like a cold submission. Just type up a letter with your headshot and resume, and just say, hey, tell them who you are and you're interested in working with them, and see what happens.
So they still have the option to say yes or no.
Yeah.
If they want to take you on or not. Mm-hmm. Okay. You say an agent or a talent manager. Now, what's the difference between the two?
Well, that's a good question because a lot of people don't know. An agent's role is to get you work. So they submit you for jobs. And even when you get a job, they can negotiate your pay. A manager's job is to manage your career, like the path of your career, where you're going. So it's your manager's job. Like really, it's your manager's job to get you an agent. It's your manager's job to get you a publicist. It's a manager's job to get you out to networking events, get you in front of people, meeting people. It's your manager's job, like I said, is to manage your career. Your only job is to be an artist. Really.
So getting a publicist, finding an agent, even finding an agent, that's not really, you don't really have to take care of that. The manager does that.
Yeah, that's what your manager's supposed to do. But in turn, see, an agent only gets 10% of what you make, but they only get paid once you book the job and you get paid. They get a 10% commission. Managers get 15% of what you get paid. Not only once you book a job, but also let's say you get an endorsement deal or something like that, they get a percentage of everything that you make, all your income that comes in, not just like once you book a role. If you do a speaking engagement, they get 15% of that. Like all of that, they get paid from all of it. Now, where I will say this too, you are never supposed to pay them money up front. Anybody who asks you money up front, it just is a scam. They just trying to.
So meaning if you go in there and meet them, hey, I want you to be my manager, right? Mm-hmm. And then they say, okay, it'll be $1,500.
Right.
It's a scam.
Run.
Run. Okay.
Because like it's a scam. Like any manager or agent I've ever worked with has never asked me for money up front. Never asked me for money. I mean, even afterwards. Only time I paid them anything is after I booked the job. That's it.
Okay.
Like never. That's like cardinal rule number one. Even when I went to when I finished at Alabama State, I went to a film school up here. And that was the first thing they told us. It was like, you were never supposed to pay them money up front. Anybody who asks you for money up front is a scam.
Gotcha. All right.
Now,
and
something else too I wanted to add to that. Because you got to understand, and this is part of what makes it so difficult. Number one, it's not easy to get an agent. I'm gonna be completely honest. It's not easy because managers and agents have a roster of their talent, and they all fall in different character categories. The category may be like, for instance, my character category would be African American female who played a role between 30 to 40. You know what I'm saying? Or like even as low as like 27 to 40 or something like that, and depending on how many clients they have in that talent category means, whether it determines whether or not they can represent you, because it could be a conflict of interest if they have too many people who fall into the same category.
Okay, also, so they got so many people just like you, that falls, then conflict of interest comes.
Yeah. And then another caveat to that also, you got to remember, they don't get paid until you get paid, which means the clients who have a higher booking rate, meaning they actually get cast more, they're naturally going to get pushed more because they're generating revenue. And you got to remember, and this is a hard fact for artists or people who are interested in the industry to accept, it's a business. You got to generate some kind of money. If they're generating money, they bring in more money than you are, then they're going to get pushed more. They're going to get pushed harder. Now, you may run into a representative that is all about actually shaping you and actually is genuinely interested in pushing you as a talent. But ain't gonna lie, it's hard to find out here. It's hard to find.
I heard that. Especially if they already got like big name talent on their roster.
Oh,
or someone
the
who books
ones
a
who
lot.
represent like A-list talent, stop it. Only way you get in it with them is like if you know somebody, and they endorse you. Like, hey, look, you can, and even then they still might be like, I don't know.
I heard that. It's messed up. So
I'm saying like, I don't know.
So you and I have talked over the years at nauseum almost. Like, but some of the funniest stories you've told me are about the casting process.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the casting process.
Mm-hmm.
Now I always found theater nerds to be weird, even though I took a theater class in high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Right,
the warm-up exercises. The warm-up exercises. It sounds like it looks like a zoo. You make it sound like a zoo out there, and like people there when she goes to these casting calls, right? They have everyone wait out into a hallway while they're in a room auditioning for a role. Mm-hmm. And like the way she makes it sound, like all the noises people make, it sounds like she's here at a zoo or something.
Well, let me clear that up. Let me clarify that. Like a lot of like for theater, a lot of times they do that. You'll see them like out in like the hall or whatever. They stretching and they doing all this. And I'm like, yo, dog. All that is not necessary, but you know, it's like whatever. Everybody has their own process for getting into their zone. So I'm just I get my script, I sit in my corner, and I just focus in on what's going on in the scene. Like, you know, I don't do all that.
You don't do all that, yeah. But it's crazy. So the casting process, how's that go from the lens of an actor? What's that like? Yeah. Luke, hold on. But let's get to this chat right here. You're right, Luke Hayes. Luke Hayes says, "Whoa! By the time you get a good acting gig, your check is almost gone." That's true. Because like until you get an agent, your manager's acting as your agent.
Yeah,
right.
Because and this is the thing. When you get your check, you got to understand, like out of that check, not only taxes got to come out, you got to pay that, and then you got to pay, if you have a manager and an agent, you got to pay both of them. So that's 25% out of your check.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So like,
so a quarter of it going just in manager and agent fees.
Right.
To say nothing about incidentals. You know what I'm saying? Like travel, food, all that. Travel, just basic stuff.
On the project. Because some projects you have, they cover travel and lodging and all of that. But then you have some projects where they'll have on the breakdown must be local to New York or must be local to LA or wherever, or must be willing to work as a New York local or LA local, which means if you don't live in the New York area, or if you don't live in the LA area, you must be willing to pay for your own travel and your own lodging and your own all of that. They pay you for the gig. That's all. They ain't covering nothing else.
Y'all can have it.
Oh,
listen. What? So the casting process. The casting process. How's that go now? I mean,
so
you just go in for an audition or what?
Okay, so this is how the whole casting process works, right? I'm just break it down from start to finish. The production company or the studio, they have a show or a movie that they want to produce. Hey, Sir Ham. But they have a movie that they want to produce. So what they do is they hire a casting director to handle the casting process. And what they do is they make a breakdown of all the characters that they need, and they have a synopsis of what they're looking for in the character. It could be like, a physical, what they're looking for physically from the character, or like, they give a description of who the character is and what their significance is to the script. And so the casting director then takes that breakdown and sends it out to all the talent representatives, right? The talent representatives then go through their roster of talent and submit, at most they may submit up to 3 of their clients for the role. So then the casting director from there goes through all the headshots and resumes and selects which actors they want to invite for an interview. Because an audition is a job interview. They invite the actors to audition. The actors come in and they audition, and the auditions are taped. Then the casting director goes through the audition tapes and selects the actors that they feel best meet the character based off of what the director's looking for. And that's a key statement there, because you could have given a great performance, but like physically, you just don't meet exactly what the director has in mind. So, you won't get passed on. But anyway, so the casting director goes through the tapes, select those actors, and then pass it on to the directors and producers. Directors and producers look at it, and they tell the casting director, okay, we want to see these actors. Then the casting director then reaches back out to the representatives and says, hey, we want to invite your client for a callback audition. And then you come back. Then the actors come back in, for the callback audition, and they audition in front of the directors and producers. And then typically from there, the directors and producers decide who they want. Or sometimes if it's difficult for them to decide, it's down to, 1 or 2 actors or 3 actors or whatever, they'll have like a second callback. And then those actors come in and they audition again. So essentially, and because I want to make this clear to a lot of people who don't understand, a casting director is simply like, and this is no tea, no shade, whatever. I've interviewed a casting director too. And she said it. A casting director is simply a filter. The title casting director, that's simply a part of their title, but they don't actually cast the show. They assist in the casting process. They cut through all the whole, trying to find talent. What they do is they bring the talent to the directors and producers. But then the directors and producers, they hire the actors. They decide who they want. So they're the ones that decide who gets the job, not the casting director. Now, the casting director can have an influence, but there are some situations where the casting director may actually cast a project, but for the most part, the directors and producers actually cast the project. They select who they want, not the casting director.
Gotcha.
And that's, long story short, what happens.
Okay, now Luke Casey brings up a very good question, and I think you've had a dud. I know for a fact you had a dud of a manager before. Have you ever found out that your agent decided not to send your information to a casting that you knew you was perfect for?
No, I haven't. But I have found out that and this is the importance of understanding business too. A lot of some projects, when you see the breakdown and it tells you, okay, SAG rate, okay, and then it'll say +10. +10 means that they give you like the standard rate that the union says, okay, this is the minimum amount you can give. You can't go under this amount. You can't pay the actor no less than this, right? So they'll say SAG rate +10. That +10 is for your talent representative, meaning like an extra 10 or 15% is not supposed to come out of your rate, because that +10 is covering their rate, right? Their commission, right? Mm-hmm. But what was happening was, my representative at the time, she was taking that 10% plus her commission out of my check. So she was actually getting extra when she was stealing. She was taking extra from me.
She was stealing. That's what she was doing. Yeah, you know your brother. You know your big brother hates a thief. I can't stand a thief. You know that. Why you call me and tell me this?
No.
No, you just gonna hold this away from me?
No,
like, you knew it was
that's
gonna
where
happen, right?
attorneys come in, and like that's another thing. Like
You don't call no lawyer. You get me to do that. You get me to handle that.
It's important, and a lot of times, like a lot of actors like don't seek or consort like entertainment attorneys until like they've found themselves in a bad situation. They locked themselves in a bad deal. I have a friend. Her name's Eldoni Mason. She's an entertainment attorney, and she was talking about
Eldoni.
She was like, a lot of actors don't come to her until like, they've gotten themselves in a bad situation. She was like, a lot of times by the time they come to me, they're looking for me to get them out of something. You know what I'm saying? Instead of coming beforehand, to get a contract or whatever looked over. So, yeah.
Okay. They're the double dipping. I see the chat is fired up about that.
Right.
The fact that the chat doesn't like that. Luke Hazley doesn't like it.
Right. Yeah. But I mean,
doesn't like it. I mean, New Growth doesn't like it. Like, yeah, the chat is not liking the double dip.
Right. I mean, but that's the thing. I mean, I didn't know at the time. I just didn't know. And it would behoove anybody to learn the business side of entertainment, the business side of acting. It is. I'm talking about like, I mean, it's just imperative that you understand, because a lot of people can get over on you. A lot of times what happens is a lot of people who they just leave all their business affairs to either their manager, or they leave all their business affairs to like their accountant or whatever, like, and just expect them to just take care of it. Well, you should know a little bit about something. You know what I mean? A little bit about something.
Yeah, that's how you hear stories like Steve Harvey got taken advantage of.
Yeah.
And TLC. This reminds me of like singers back in the day used to get these real bad deals back in the 90s and early 2000s. You know what I mean? And it's because they knew nothing about the business.
Right. And another thing too, like a lot of these people, they know, like, especially like the people who trying to just start in the business, or people who've even been in the business for a while, like they're hungry and they really want to make it, and so, they'll almost go for almost anything. Not almost anything. A lot of them will go for anything. A lot of them will go for anything. And they take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Say they're gonna leave Shushu alone.
Come next time, half is Shushu. Black man. That's exactly. See, that's why she didn't call me when this happened. By the time I found out about it,
you a lot throughout.
Yeah,
like
you have.
I cried on the phone to my brother and everything.
Yes, you have. And see, here's the thing: people think that I'm unempathetic and unsympathetic, and like when women cry, that's something I can't handle. But have I not consoled you on many occasions?
Yes, he has. He has.
See, people, I'm not that bad. For some reason, people in the UT space think I'm the big bad wolf or something. I don't know what that's about. But
well, let's just be honest. I mean, you've always been very forward, very direct, like. And I mean, I've told you about that. Like, okay, like, just be a little bit more tactful. Like, you can say whatever. It's cool. Just have a little bit more tact. And he's like, but why? But they stupid, Shamaria. They stupid.
Thank you. This is my point.
That. You can't say that. But it's true. They stupid. Like, I was like, yo, you can't be.
They're stupid. Now, this right here, this is my point.
I've gotten better. I said, you're an idiot. That's no better. That's no better. That's not.
I don't make that face when I say these things.
What you mean?
Keep in mind, people, she is an actor, and I dare say an extremely talented one.
Oh,
even though she doesn't know it or recognizes it. She's very humble, actually. I mean, you tell her she's talented, she's like, I don't know. I'm just like, then you see her on screen.
Well, I mean,
blows you up the water.
The industry is humbling. It's very humbling.
Is it?
Because I've seen a lot of people ego level is Kanye and get sat down. I mean, especially with auditions, like no audition is the same. I had a whole class that teaches you about audition technique and etiquette and stuff like that when you go into an audition and all this other stuff. And the thing that I learned the most when I got out in the real world is no audition is the same. None of them. Every time you go in there, it's something different. I've been in auditions before where I walked in a room and it's 10 other chicks that look just like me, and we all look like we could be sisters, but it's only one role and they hiring one actress. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's humbling. I've been in auditions before where you go in there and all the actors that they're auditioning for the scene, everybody in the same room, and everybody just go up one at a time. We really doing this?
Wait, so it's like musical
really
chairs. It's like musical chairs.
And what
Like,
it ends up being is it's definitely a competition because everybody wants a job. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's humbling. It's humbling.
And no matter how talented you are, they're looking for something specific.
Right. And here's the thing too: talent don't get you the job. As crazy as that may sound, talent does not get you the job. Well, I will say this. Let me clear that it doesn't guarantee you the job. It doesn't guarantee you the job.
Yeah. Now here's a question for you from the chat. Luke Hazley asks, and Luke Hazley is another, like you, beautiful, intelligent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Luke Hazley, she and Jenny Moreno are two of the best moderators in all of YouTube. All right. Yeah, Luke Casey will moderate like 18 different channels at one time. It's insane. Wow. All right. She says, do you find that you have a good peer support system in that competitive environment, or are you pretty much on your own?
Well, yeah, I will say I do have a good peer support. It's not big, but I do have good peer support. I do have some of my acting friends who we all get together and, we may have a kumbaya moment, just talk about how frustrated we are with the industry and how things are going. And it's we talk because we all understand what it's like being in it. A lot of times, like, people on the outside don't understand what it's like to be in it. But like when you're in it with other people and they understand where you're coming from. Like, yeah, I do.
Yeah. All right. Now we're going over the casting process.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, she's classic.
Aww.
Fire. Yeah, Harmony Peel. She's another one. She's been in the entertainment industry as well. Talented sister. She's tall, so she has that model. Yeah, nothing wrong with that at all. She's also gorgeous. She has that model-esque look. Tall and slim. Yeah.
Yes, girl.
Now, here's one that could get spicy. I'm not trying to get you in trouble, so answer if you can.
Mm-hmm.
Have you observed racism in show business? Because we know it's there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Have you observed racism in show business? And if so, how?
I wouldn't necessarily call it racism, I guess. I mean, it's they have a specific look, like a specific something that they're looking for. So I would say specifically for like LA looks for a certain look, a certain type. And if you don't fall within that type, at one point it was if you don't fall in that type, you might as well hang it up for LA. But now, because of the whole diversity and inclusion climate, they are opening up more roles and more things to people of different shades, all, different races, all that stuff. But for the most part, still, even now, if you have a certain look, you have a good chance of being successful in LA. Whereas in New York, the thing I do love about New York is New York has always embraced diversity. It doesn't matter what your look is. There's always something. There's something here for you, like something. They're always looking for, just anything, tattoos, no tattoos, long hair, no hair, whatever. Like tattoos, not tattoos, but New York is definitely like more open when it comes to that. But the main thing I would say, and this is true for LA and New York, if you can get in the right clique, the right social circle, and that ups your chances too. Another thing, like if you go to the right graduate program, i.e. Yale or Juilliard, that ups your chances. of making it farther in the industry. I can't tell you how many times I've been on set and like the lead characters all went to either Yale or Juilliard. Yale graduates. A homeboy of mine, he was in Get Out, and I'm not shooting any shade at him. He's a genuine brother.
Get Out. Yeah.
He had posted like when Get Out went to the Oscars like that night. He had posted a picture from the Vanity Fair party, and I was looking at that picture. I was like, wow. I was like, that is a dream come true. You know what I mean? And then I stopped and I noticed, I was like, wait a minute, what do all these people have in common other than the fact that they're Black? They're all Yale graduates. See, when we left undergrad, he went to Yale for graduate school. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And no matter what, like that does make a huge difference. So,
network
matters. And I would tell you this, if I could put it in an order, who you know trumps your talent, then your look trumps your talent, then it's talent. And I can tell, I can't tell you how many times I've seen it. Like, that's not to say that you shouldn't continue to work and be as good as you can to continue hone your craft, but who you know and what you look like matters more than your talent.
Like,
let's say, for instance, if I'm in an audition with an actor whose agent is friends with the director or one of the producers or something like that, like they kids go to the same private school or something, or they have brunch, every Sunday or something. I can go in that audition and shut it down. You hear me? Shut it down. Completely outperform the other actor. But more than likely, the role is going to go to the actor whose agent has a relationship with the director and the producers, has a rapport with the director and producers. Because the agent is going to get a commission from that actor getting a job. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's how it works. Now, the upside to that, I can say this. If you can always tell when they really like you, when they keep calling you back for stuff. So like, let's say, for instance, I booked Law and Order, and the role I got wasn't the initial role I went in for. I went in for like a bigger role. And, apparently, obviously they gave it to somebody else. But when they called me back to audition for another role, I was like, okay, that's a good sign. That means they like my audition.
Here's one, OG Patrice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic sister. Now, she's worked in the entertainment industry for over 20 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's working in show business in some shape, form, or fashion. OG Patrice, once we drop the link, if you have time, ma'am, please come up and I like to see how the two of you vibe. Okay, she says she's on point with her perspective of show business. As a 20-year vet in the business, racism and colorism still exists. That's why it's imperative to create your own as independent filmmakers, writers, etc. Now, here's OG Patrice. Here's the thing about my sister. She does have a YouTube channel. It's called #ActorsLife. I think the moderators have been posting it there. Luke Hazley's posted it already once already, but and I posted it
so
first.
Much for that. I so appreciate it. Thank y'all so much.
Right. Yeah. And go over there and subscribe to her YouTube channel. She has some, like, when it comes to show business, she has interviews with actors, producers, the vice president of SAG. Yeah, she has a whole hour-long interview with that guy. You know what I'm saying?
I asked him to break down who and what SAG-AFTRA is, because all I knew as an actor was, oh, you were considered an official actor once you had your SAG card. Okay, I'm like, okay, well, great. Well, this has to be more than a card. And especially with that initiation fee, honey, what am I getting for my money?
Yeah, I want to see.
Clearly, what am I getting for my money? You get down into that SAG office and they tell you got, I'm talking about like, and when I joined, this was like back in 2015, it was like 3 stacks. Then you got to pay it now, all now.
$3,000.
Yes. And then like when you I was at what they call must join, which means I was up for a role. I booked the job, but in order to work the job, I had to join the union. So that means you have to pay this money right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, $3,000. What am I getting for $3,000 and why I got to pay it? You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, and it just so happened that I ended up getting a job in LA and I met the vice president of SAG-AFTRA at the airport. And he was located in New York. And when I got back to New York, he told me to keep in contact with him. And I did. When I got back to New York, I went down to the SAG office and talked to him and everything. When I developed my show, Actor's Life, I asked him, would he come and do an interview and just explain what the union was, what their significance is to the industry, to artists. And he came and broke down all of that, like all of that. He said, have you ever been asked to compromise your integrity or morals?
Yeah, we get into that. We're getting to that, Vaughn. Vaughn, we are getting to that. That's going to be my next question. In fact, Vaughn, brilliant timing, so we can segue into that. Okay. That's the observations in show business. Okay. Is the casting couch a real thing? And if so, how's that work out? You know what I'm saying? Like the casting, because we heard about the Harvey Weinsteins out there and things like that. And Weinstein, it seemed like Weinstein was just like, hey, you know what? If you do this for me, I'll do this for you. The quid pro quo, right?
Right.
Quid pro quo. You do this for me. And then this whole Bill Cosby situation. Not saying Bill is innocent of all of it.
Right.
But it seems like some of these women did it with the idea that if they did this for him, then he was going to get them in movie roles and bolster their career, things like that. And Angelus, this guy, you know, he lives in he's right down the street
from you.
He's in Alabama. Yeah, Great Pill Podcast. He's right down the street, down in not Troy. It's a little past Troy. Ozark. He's in Ozark, Alabama. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, freelance. Yeah, answer that right quick, and let's get to this whole casting couch. And have you ever been asked to compromise your integrity? Good question, Vaughn Bryant. Okay, first of all, favorite actress of all time, and is there a particular actor you like to work with?
Alfre Woodard.
Alfre Woodard,
She is so underrated. She is an amazing actress and she is so underrated. And like, you know, I mean, I guess for me being in entertainment and, you know, studying acting, like I look at performances with a different eye, and like I watch her performances and like, oh my God, I need a monologue. Where's a monologue? I got more work to do. You know what I'm saying? It just makes me want to be better. Of course, naturally, I love Angela Bassett. Only thing is my girl can't really do accents like that. Like she's not really good with accents, but like she is still a really good actress nonetheless. But yeah, I would say Alfre Woodard.
Alfre Woodard. What about the one that's Alfre Woodard's your favorite of all time because she makes you want to be better?
Yeah, right? She make me want to. Every time I say a performance, it just make me want to be better. Like I got more work to do.
And you're right. She is very underrated, and she is extremely talented. Before the billions says, this is in reference to the SAG. No, it's at the 922 spot. This is in reference to the SAG fees, the $3,000. Before the billions says, do they take IOUs?
No, they don't. But no, they don't. But they do offer. They have a loan. They also offer. It's a certain loan that they have that can cover that because they have the Actors Credit Union. Like the SAG has its own bank, like the Actors Credit Union, and they have a loan specifically for that, for your initiation fee. So I mean, you know, it's dope. They also offer like a lot of other programs, like housing assistance. Like if something happens, like with your living situation, like, you know, let's say you caught in a fire or something like that, and like you're trying to rebuild, like, you know, they have funding for that. Like they can help you get back on your feet. They also offer. I know our chapter here in New York. They offer like all kind of classes. Like they offer like if you need a new talent manager or agent, like they have special events where like you can come and meet agents, ask them questions. What else? All kind of like, you know, courses, like especially like for older people who are actors, but like they're not really like savvy with computers. They offer like, you know, they have computer labs. You can come and like, you know, take classes. What else? They also have like screenings and stuff like that, like special screenings just for SAG members. They offer a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Because I was like, I better get something for my $3,000.
I know that's right. Three stacks, man. Listen.
What? What am I paying for?
Right.
Stop it. I got to be in more than the car. What is this?
No.
I can say this. I made my money back. I have made my money.
Oh, okay. As long as you got your money back.
Fairness. I'm not mad at that. I made my money back.
You're right. You don't want me to have to swing into action.
Oh, and to go back to what's his name? His question about
Vaughn said, "Have you ever been asked to compromise?" I'm gonna do it in his voice. Yes. Have you ever been asked to compromise yourself? Okay. You ever been asked to compromise yourself for a role?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Question: have you ever been asked to compromise your integrity or morals while seeking a part? If so, how did you deal with it?
Well, I would say this. Yes, it was a particular role on a very popular show, and my manager reached out to me first before like she confirms the audition. She'll number one call to confirm with me if I'm available for the shoot dates and if I'm interested in taking the role or interested in auditioning for it. And so I was like, all right, cool. She was like, is nudity required for this? Are you okay with that? I was like, yeah, all right, cool. So I get to the audition. Right? I do the audition. And right before I leave out the room, I didn't open the door. The casting director said, oh, hey, there's nudity required for this. Are you okay with that? I said, yeah, cool. But and let me say this disclaimer. I wasn't actually expecting to get the role, as crazy as that may sound. My goal was, if I do a good enough audition, at least the tape will get through to the director. And the director will see me, and they'll call me for something else.
Okay, gotcha.
You see what I'm saying?
So using
this even if I don't get it, it don't matter. The director will see me, and they'll call me for something else.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So about a week and a half goes by. Usually, for like series or like, you know, shows of that caliber, if you book the job, you like within a day or two, you'll hit something.
So this is a hit show.
I didn't hear anything. So I was like, yeah, cool. All of a sudden, I get a call from my manager. She was like, hey, so they're really considering you for this role. And casting wants to know if they give you this role, would you be available for rehearsal tomorrow? First, I was like, hell yeah. Because the particular scene was with like the main character. And the main character is like a big somebody. You know what I'm saying? And when I got off the phone, I thought about it. I was like, well, am I really okay with doing this? Like, really okay? You know
I remember this one.
Doing this because I was scared. I was like, oh my God, I really gotta take my gloves off. Oh my God, I don't want to do it. And then I was like kind of going back and forth because I was like, I don't been through this whole process. I done been asked like 3-4 times, are you okay with being nude? And I said yes every time. And now I'm thinking like, oh God, I'm not really okay with this. You know what I'm saying? So what I did was I called mama and I told her about it. I said, look, it's a really great opportunity. I said, and it could really set my career off if I take this. I said, the only thing is though, I'd be nude on screen. I said, you know, I don't know if I should do it. And she was like, she said, well, Shamaria, you went up to New York to act, right? I said, yeah. She said, well, then you get up there and you act. When my mom was cool, I was like, all right, I can do this. Next thing you know, I get a call. Say, okay, well, unfortunately, they decided to go in another direction. which means they gave the role to somebody else.
Right. You wiping sweat beads off your forehead. That one. I remember that one too. I know what role and I know what show you're talking about too. I remember you called me about that.
But I'm all in all, I'm glad I didn't do it. I'm glad I didn't take it because a lot of people I know watch that show.
And and they'd all seen you.
People be like, oh, Shamario. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. And it'd have been something like.
I'm just glad I didn't.
People that came to me talking about, hey, did you see your sister? She was on this show, and did you see it? No, I didn't see that part.
Right.
I didn't watch. You didn't watch it? No. Right. So wait, you knew she was gonna? Yeah, I know about that scene, dummy. It's my sister. You're gonna tell me? Yeah, give me the heads up. I don't want to see that.
Say yes to.
Right? Yeah, I don't want to see that.
Right. As far as like, sleeping with someone.
I'm laughing at some in the chat. Just to protect your story and integrity, I'm not gonna point anything out. Just
Listen, let me tell you something. I've never put myself in a situation to sleep with somebody for a role. And thankfully, all the things I've gotten has been through my talent representative, so I haven't had to do that. I know people who have. They still rolling in the industry. I mean, I would say this. There's more than one way there's more than one route to get where you're going. You know what I mean? I just choose to go a different route. Some people do go that route of, sleeping with, who they can to get where they want to go. And it does work. If it's a lady named Sheila Nevins, she was like the president of HBO documentaries for a long time. And like a couple of years ago, she retired. And before she retired, she did a memoir about her career. And she was very open and honest with the fact that in the early stages of her career, she slept with her superiors to get promotions. And she said this, and you can look this up right now. She's on film saying it. She said, I wish I could say it didn't work, but it did. And
so she said she wished she could say it didn't work?
Yeah, I wish I could say it didn't work, but it did. And I'll never forget this because it was a talk back she had with the book that she had released. And she was talking about that. And this is when it clicked to me. Because for the longest, I couldn't understand, like, how is it that you do something like that? And like, you can still sleep at night. Like, you don't. So this is what Sheila Nevins said. She's like, I just looked at it as a cost of doing business. So meaning for her, see, for me, it was a moral issue. You see what I'm saying? Like from a spiritual perspective, like I'm giving myself to somebody for that. You know what I mean? I'm whoring myself out for this. They don't look at it like that. I'm not whoring myself. I'm not being a whore. Like, this is a business transaction. He wants this. I want this. We just making an exchange. That's the perspective. You know what I'm saying?
So that's why it's so easy for some people to do. That's
why it's so easy. Yeah. Yeah.
So like casting couches, that definitely goes on these days still, right?
Of course.
How do they approach people like that?
Going nowhere. Listen, let me tell you something. And for the people who, have so much to say about women who, caught up in the Harvey Weinstein situation and stuff like that, like Harvey Weinstein was a powerful man in Hollywood. I mean, powerful. One word, good or bad, from that man could make or break your career. Mm-hmm. You understand me? So, if he offered for a lot of women, okay, this is my dream, this is what I want to do, and this man, just one cosign from this man, and I have everything I ever wanted. All I got to do is this little thing for 5-10 minutes. Or, and this is another, situation that they faced. What if I said no? Mm-hmm. All he had to say is, she's difficult to work with. Because that's like, I'm talking about the kiss of death in Hollywood or in entertainment. She's difficult to work with.
That's it.
That's all it takes. You will never work in this town again. He would never work in this town again. I'm talking about that man is like, he wrote many checks for many big budget films. Not just big budget films. I'm talking about like, I'm like television. And you know what? And they've been known about it because Seth MacFarlane made jokes about it.
He sure did. Watch Family Guy.
Jokes about it.
Watch Family Guy. Family Guy jokes on this kind of stuff all the time.
So, like, a lot of this stuff they've been known about. Bill Cosby, I'll never forget. I was on a set of Show Me a Hero, and we were on a lunch break. And there was this older woman. She was an actress. I was talking to her on set, and this is like around the time Bill Cosby, the whole thing like really came out. She was like, she had a friend who was working on the Cosby Show at the time. Mm-hmm. Part of his job was to get women and bring them backstage to Bill Cosby, because at the time, they did like live tapings in front of a studio audience.
Cosby Show. Yeah.
So part of his job was to get women and bring them to Bill Cosby.
Now, who was this?
They've been doing this forever.
Yeah, whose job was it to bring the women?
We was talking about her friend who worked on the Cosby Show.
Oh, okay.
They've been doing that forever, and this ain't no secret. And the whole Me Too movement and stuff like that. I think the initial start of it has good intentions, but the bottom line is that's been going on forever.
And it's going to keep going on.
It's not going to stop.
Right. Let me grab one of these comments right quick. OG Proceed said, I'm so glad you have your sister on here speaking facts, so they know many as spoken on this, myself included. These are facts, 100%.
Yeah.
Harmony Bill says, bullseye. And let's see. What good is it to gain? Yeah. Well, I wonder, what is gaining the world lose your soul? You're right. Luke Casey says, whoa, I'm wondering if that is what they said about Amber Heard. Here's the thing about Amber Heard. Mm-hmm. All right. Now that we know what we know about her, since this trial's come. By the way, everyone, we have dropped the link. So if you want to come up and ask her questions, you want to come up and ask me questions, you want to talk to her about any of this kind of stuff, don't hesitate to click the link and come on up. You know my policy. You don't have to be on camera. You can do the little avatar, like this, like I'm doing now. But, like I said, OG Patrice, if you want to come up and shoot it with it, my boy, Tommy B.
What's
who he is, right?
That's what he sound like to me. What's cracking, yo?
Right? What's cracking? Amber Heard. Now, here's the thing. Amber Heard is a nut job. Okay, this woman is a Category 8 hurricane. Mm-hmm. According to the evidence that's come out in this trial now, I don't know the woman personally, but the evidence is it ain't looking good. Yo, the stuff this chick's done
ain't looking good. It's a rat. And her lawyer trash. Right. Her lawyer called an objection on himself. I was sitting there looking like, bro. And was confused when the judge was like, you asked the question. I'm like, yo, they both tripping. What is going on?
Yo.
Right. Now, last question before we get to them. We know that people get burned out. You told me before people get burned out of this whole process, right? Mm-hmm. Whole situation in Hollywood, and people get burned out. Mm-hmm. And why do most people quit, and what causes burnout?
A lot of times people quit for mainly for one of two reasons. A lot of times it's because you just tired of being disappointed. And you get frustrated. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You just get frustrated with it. And and you do ask yourself, like, well, what am I doing? Like, why? And then you got people who give up because like they were just in it for the wrong reason. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They were never really an artist. They were never really passionate about the craft. They just wanted to be famous. They just wanted to be seen. Bye. But I tell you what does tend to happen, a lot of times people who do, I would call it a break, because people who really are passionate about the craft, like they may stop for a while, but they always come back to it. Because when you got a passion for it, like it's like I have to do it. They always come back to it. So yeah.
And we hear stories like that all the time with, you know, Sylvester Stallone, Morgan Freeman. We hear stories like that all the time because those guys, it didn't happen over a year. It didn't happen in 5 years. Sometimes it happened 10 years. And when they had like, was this Sylvester Stallone, his script, they was going to buy his script.
Oh, you're Rocky.
Rocky, yeah.
And all these stories with that going on. He actually owned, he owns all the rights for Rocky. You know what I'm saying? Morgan Freeman's like, his big break was like in the 60s.
Right, yeah.
Who's the cursing one?
Samuel Jackson.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Thank you, Samuel Jackson. Yeah, he's another one too. Yeah. But he's the main one that he said he's passionate about his craft. He's very passionate about it.
Yeah. See, here's the thing people don't understand about acting. It's not getting on camera and just, you know, saying lines. Like, you're sharing a human experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're really sharing a human experience. Like, for people who actually like do character work and stuff like that, like, you understand that character has a background, you know, because we as people, we all have a background. You know, our childhood, like our experiences, all of that shape us and make us who we are. You know, so yeah. I mean, and that it takes a lot of work, and you know, you got to have a passion for it.
I appreciate that because the stuff that you're sharing is like a little bit. I can relate to YouTube because with YouTube, you're more being your authentic yourself versus you're playing a role. Now, some people play character roles.
Yeah,
we call them for the streets in the YouTube side, right?
Right.
When you come and be your authentic self, and it's probably leads to a question I think I have. So, what advice would you give upcoming, I guess, YouTubers who's trying to become, I guess, quote unquote, famous? And would you advise them the same thing into the acting game? Would you just take any role just to become famous, or will you be more selective on your morals about it? Because I feel like most people just like, I'm just gonna jump into other platforms just for subscribers. I feel like there's those actors just say, hey, you know, like you said, I'm gonna grind. I'm gonna keep taking commercial deals, until my big break comes, and I'm gonna try that until I move forward. Or you know what, bump it. I you know, he's offering me an extra $1,000, so I'm just gonna be on that the flick channel for a little bit, just get that fast money, and then my big break gonna come. But you know, but Hollywood gonna see that. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that?
So like people who doing it pretty much to be famous?
I'm gonna be on TV just to be on TV thinking I'm gonna get a break versus like, let me just go ahead and grind and do it the authentic way, and then it comes up naturally.
Well, a lot of people who do it to be famous because it looks fun.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It looks like it's fun, and it's just like one big, you know, like, oh, life is, you know, grand, it's a party. I'm not famous, but I've been told like fame is like being in a jail cell made of gold.
Oh wow.
You know what I mean? Because you go out and you know, people recognize you and stuff like that, and the money doesn't always come. You know, people who think they want to be famous, a lot of times, sometimes in some instances, they do get fame, but that's all they end up with.
Yeah.
I've heard.
And I still said it one time, there's nothing worse than being famous and broke.
I've heard that a lot.
You know what I'm saying? Like when I first really started booking like you know, like TV series and stuff like that, I never forget. I was working overnight at this company, and they put it like, they posted my picture up in the break room and stuff like that. And like some of the other employees, they saw it. They was like, "Oh wow, that's you." I was like, "Yeah." They was like, "You was really on TV?" I was like, "Yeah." They was like, "Why you working here?" Oh,
because I gotta make a living.
Why you working here? I was like, oh.
So it was like, also, yeah, your latest one was Law and Order. This season right now, the current season 21, you're on episode 6.
Right.
Now that's the first time. I'm not sure anymore. Was that your first time crying on command, or have you pulled that bullshit before?
This guy.
Yeah, look, Tommy, look. She was sitting there doing a scene, and then like it was supposed to be a sad scene or whatever, and then tears started. Like she's actually crying. I'm just like, hey, yo, wait a minute. Hey, hold on. Wait. You probably pulled that before we was little. No. All the whoopings I got on your behalf.
Here's the whole.
Are you triggered? Are you triggered, Mandrell? Like
no, I'm not.
I'm going back in childhood, comparing it to actually.
I know, but yeah, Law and Order season 21, episode 6. She's in that. You can check her out there. She also has her YouTube channel again. People #Actors Life. There's a lot of fire. Look, seriously, I'm not saying it's just because she's my sister. She really is the talent in the family. She got it from our parents are talented, but when it came to that, she clearly got the lion's share. You know what I'm saying? Like I have skills in art, but she has talent, like scary.
I was gonna ask you. So I got my niece has been acting pretty much since she was walking. She just joined SAG in 2019.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So she was on Mixed Dish. She played Gabrielle Union as a kid and Being Mary Jane.
Oh, nice.
That's she's won a couple of awards and stuff. So she's pretty deep into it. But I was gonna ask you, how did the pandemic affect you? Because I know how it affected her. How did it affect you?
Well, with the pandemic, like everything stopped.
Yeah.
Like everything. And like nothing was going. Like it was like complete lockdown. And maybe not until I'll say it's been a year or so now. Like things are like really starting like to roll back, get back into motion. And I mean, that's been crazy because like everything is like all your auditions, they request what they call self-tape auditions.
Yeah.
And that's where like, they'll send you a piece of the script, which are called sides.
Yeah.
They'll send that to you and you film yourself, you tape yourself doing the audition and you submit it.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's crazy. I mean, I've been auditioning. The only thing is now, like for union jobs, they require you to be vaccinated. And for a while, like, people going back and forth, the whole vaccination thing. And I held off as long as I could until, and Mandrell knows this because I had I got a talent manager. I had her on speakerphone and Mandrell.
And she was here.
And
she was right here
I was at home.
At my place.
I was in Alabama at the time, and she was like, she said, "Hey, I got a role for you. You'd be great for it." She was like, "But you got to be vaccinated."
Yeah.
She was like, I believe in you, and we've been rocking for a long time. She was like, "If you don't want to get vaccinated," she was like, "I'm not trying to sway you one way or another, but if you don't want to get vaccinated, that's fine." She was like, "I'll try and submit you for whatever comes across my desk that you don't have to be vaccinated for." But she was like, I would just have to keep moving forward with the people who, who are vaccinated. She was like, and it's nothing personal. I love you, Dev. I think you're a great talent. I believe in you. But she was like, I've been working my whole life to get to the point I am now. So I just had to keep going. I was like, yeah, I understand.
It was the same conversation, especially with her because she's 12. So it was a super hard decision for them. Yeah. I was going to ask you too, because one thing I kind of had a conversation with my sister about. I told her to kind of be patient. One of the possible, and I asked you if if this is a big problem or something that happens a lot in there. I told her because my sister is she's married and she's kind of reserved or whatever. So she wouldn't be with like some of the stuff that you said earlier. And I told her, well, you got to understand that you also gonna have like we all know about the casting couch, but then the parents. And what they're willing to do to get their kids in there. And you got to understand that it's going to be harder for you because you're not willing to do that.
Right. And because the bottom line is this, like I said, it's more than one way to do it. It's more than one route to get where you're trying to go. But you got to understand, there's a whole lot of people going down that direction.
Yeah.
Chosen. They said that direction, who I got to sleep with, I will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I said, it is hard because it works.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? The bottom line is it does.
Yeah.
So if you are going to stick to your morals and your values, like it's going to be frustrating. It's going to be overwhelmingly frustrating. You know what I mean? But if you won't stick to them, stick to them.
That's life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
was gonna say that's
You're
anything
not,
in life, though, usually.
I will say this: if you're not, you have to have a solid reason as to go against that. Because if you don't, and you just doing it because, well, I just want to roll. A lot of times, those be the people who just spiral out of control.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They get lost because you got a lot of people who do go back on their morals.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then, like, you know, they end up regretting it in the end.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
stand on your square, in other words.
Or and well, I will say this: you have to understand the perspective that they have. You know what I mean? It's a totally different mindset that they have.
Yeah.
Me personally, I just couldn't bring myself to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not knocking nobody or not judging anybody, because the bottom line is, like I said, it does work.
I think it's similar to, like, I was in the military too, and I would say, like, with Mandrell, it's gonna be situations in there where it's gonna test your morals and stuff. Yeah. Especially more what he was doing than me. But I just think it's interesting that that you look at it that way. But I think that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah. Now, like, Candid Ann, you came in. Hello, hi, Candid Ann.
Good evening. Good evening. How are you doing today? You're beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful.
Now, my sister is already familiar with you and Tommy B and Gray Pill.
Oh, okay, great.
It's going to be our first night meeting before the Billions, because before the Billions don't really come up on my panels that often. So I think he's just now learning who I am. And so he's like, oh, that guy, you know.
I don't know. I think Billions been there.
Probably.
So I do have a quick question for you. I do have a quick question. So if you are a little bit familiar with me, oftentimes these gentlemen, they give me wonderful compliments regarding my voice. And so as an actress, I want to ask you, you're talking, most of the conversation has been about, like, being in front of the camera, but what about acting roles such as, being a cartoon character where you're just utilizing your voice skills,
like doing voiceovers?
Yeah, voiceovers, because those I hear they get really well paid to do these cartoons, to do these animations and stuff like that. Is there any room, like, if you're not able to fit because you talked a lot about the look, they'll have 10 Black women in that look just like you, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
So, but when you push over to other other aspects, such as your voice, something that can't be that's significant to possibly you. Is there room to, like, finagle some extra money to do things? Is that a good industry? Is that a big industry? Is it really difficult to get into those roles as well?
No, well, voiceovers, you can definitely make a lot of money from voiceovers. A lot of money from voiceovers. Especially like from, like, cartoons and stuff like that, especially like the ones that they do, like when they do reruns and stuff, and any job that's a part of the union, the actors union, every time they run that episode that you're in, you get a check, and they pay you out every quarter. So and not only that, so they pay you your fee then, and then, like, they pay you your rate or whatever, and then, like, every time they run the episode, they pay you again. So, like, but long story short, there is a lot of money in voiceovers. When I say the casting process, let me say this. I would say 98% of who gets a role has nothing to do with, like, your performance. So even if it was a voice role, you know what I mean? I've heard so many crazy stories as far as, like, I remember a casting director told us this one time. She has a dog that she brings to the office, so it's kind of like an office dog. And they had this role they were trying to decide. They were trying to pick 3 actors, and they were trying to decide which 3 they were going to send over to the directors and the producers, and they just couldn't decide. So they had, like, the actors that they were trying to deliberate between. What they did was they threw all the headshots on the floor and let the dog decide. Whichever picture the dog landed on, that's who got it. I've heard all kind of crazy stuff in terms of how people got roles. And, like, so the bottom line is this, like, you can't worry about whether you get it or not. You know what I'm saying? Like do the audition and go on with your day, because it'll drive you crazy. You know, now you can do things like to make your audition, your performance better, like especially like with voiceovers. You know what I mean? You can add like little effects and stuff like that. You know, you can dress it up and make it sound like really cool. And you do have a beautiful voice, by the way. So
thank you, girl. I'm trying to get these coins. You know, I'm asking these questions not just for the audience, but for my goddamn self. I'm trying to catch these coins. Mandrell already knows.
Okay. If you, I don't know if you have a reel already, like a voiceover reel.
No.
If you don't, it's fine. Just get like some what you call like commercials or whatever, or like even like just some clips from like a news article or something like that, and record your voice. And like, you know, just do different variations or like do different inflections and stuff like that with your voice. You give you a range. And you know, they have agents out there who represent voiceover talent also. Send it out.
Awesome. Thank you so much for answering my question. I won't hold you too much. Thank you.
Right. And before we go into Before the Billions, there's a chat I want to get to from Freelance HD. Also, we're going to be going until about 10:30. Okay, just to be respectful of her time. I know she's an actor, but she also works too. Okay.
I do.
And have her up all night.
And I'm still a starving actor. I got to pay this New York rent. It ain't no joke.
Yeah, New York rent. It hits different, doesn't it?
Help a sister out.
Right. It hits different, doesn't it? All right.
You can always come back to Alabama.
Right.
Nah, don't do that. Stay at my favorite place. New York City.
What about Atlanta? I didn't hear you say anything about Atlanta. I've heard that a lot of
Atlanta's pretty hot.
work
So
is moving to Atlanta.
Yeah, I got a cousin do the same thing she does. She's up in with Teleperry Studios. She was one of the extras for the Black Panther, and she, I think, just finished working with a series for Obi-Wan.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, as far as Atlanta, of course, there is a lot of work coming to Atlanta, and that's being filmed in Atlanta now. If you are interested in getting into acting in Atlanta, first things first, get you some headshots, because that's the first thing a talent representative is going to want to see. Get you some headshots. And I know here there's a book called The Call Sheet. And what it is it's a listing of all the talent managers and agents in the city. And it gives you like their email address, like the addresses to their casting office, like the mailing address, so you can send they call it a mass mailing. So you can send your headshot and resume to them. I'm not sure if they have one in Atlanta. I think they probably do have one in Atlanta, but it's called the Call Sheet, and it lists all the agents in your city. Also, another way is you can also do like a Google search for the agencies in Atlanta. If you're looking for representation, take your headshot and send it off to them. Like, you know, type up a nice little cover letter and let them know, hey, you know, I'm an actor. I'm trying to get into the industry, and I'm interested in working with you. You know,
I'm retired. I was an extra in Angels in the Outfield, and that was it for me.
Angels in the Outfield, yo.
Angels in the Outfield. They came to the Coliseum. My sister got in, and I didn't. I was hella mad. She in the back doing a little wave. Hella mad. Right. To this day.
Let me get to this chat question right quick. Freelance HD, good brother also, by the way. How has streaming affected residual checks, if at all?
They found a way to monetize that now. Because
like the residual checks that you get in, has streaming affected that? When you get your
residual check, at the bottom they have like a listing of like where the episode has been aired. So some of it, like they'll show you if it's like on a streaming platform, or like if it's been, because a lot of these shows they are aired overseas too. So it'll show you that.
On a lot of these, like you know, you got Peacock has this, CBS has the Peacock streaming service, Netflix and all that. They found a way to monetize it. Yeah, it's just like with these YouTube. They are actively right now.
Speaking of that, I would say this: the big companies are like now, because of YouTube and Netflix too. I would say this: now every network has a streaming platform. And what they're doing is they're trying to monopolize the business. You know what I'm saying? And they're trying to take the power back from independent artists. And the only thing is because now they're just flooding the platforms and stuff like that with content. And like everybody, like granted, there are a lot of people, but like, come on, like that's not necessarily a good thing. They're trying to outdo the independent artists.
Like if you were to get HBO Go, Showtime streaming service, CW,
Disney
CBS
Plus,
Disney Plus. If you get all Hulu, if you get all these things, people are getting these streaming services to offset and cut down on costs from cable. But if you get all the streaming services, what's the difference?
Right. Because bottom line is a lot of people aren't using cable anymore. A lot of people are using streaming platforms.
I'm not using cable anymore.
So like, they have to find another way to generate revenue.
Right.
So everybody coming out with a streaming platform and stuff like that now.
But see that not to cut you off, but see that makes sense now because a lot of the it's 3 content creators very big. One said YouTube is been saturated so much. So for you to actually kind of like be on your grind, you got to be your authentic self, but you got to be like more of your authentic self. Pump content like crazy. And that was advice that Ann gave me, behind the scenes one time. And shout out to another platform, not trying to give them no grace, but Fresh and Fit. That's the main reason that they're doing so much grind and work because they're technically is not going to stay in this industry no longer. They're going to get whatever they can, invest that money into real estate and whatever to make that money keep rotating and working for them, and they're out. Right. So I don't tell nobody because we all know that old song, "Everything Don't Last Forever." Get what you got to get, make it work for you, and move on.
Right. Now we're gonna go to Before the Billions, and then we got the one and only OG Patrice right after him. What's
Mr.
up,
Bugatti?
What's up Before the Billions? He's situated down there over there in Atlanta.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's right. Before the Billions. I mess with him all the time, because I'm like, how far out are you from the Billions? How much further you got to go?
Pretty far.
I mess with him a lot.
He's sitting close to Trey Young right now, though.
Yeah, he is, isn't he?
Hey, yo.
What's up Before the Billions?
What's up, man? So, Mandrell, thank you again because you sent me an email a few weeks ago, asked me to come up on the panel, so I finally get a chance to come up.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming.
Hey, no problem at all, man. I thought it was an absolutely fantastic discussion because I learned so much. I wanted to ask, have you ever thought about I know you were explaining your experience. Have you ever thought about quitting at any time during these years you've been an actor?
Yeah.
And what made
any
you
actor that tells you they haven't thought about quitting at any point is a liar. I'm telling you that. Any actor who tells you they haven't thought about quitting is a liar.
There's a lot of rejection.
Yes, a lot of rejection.
It's a lot of rejection.
Yeah, it is. And after a while, you start thinking like, am I really talented? Like, am I as talented as I think I am? Like, do I really have this? Can I really do this? You know what I mean? You do start to question yourself. Yeah. Yeah. But part of what keeps me in the business, I'm like, I didn't put in so much work. I've come so far, like, you know what I mean? And then when I look back over all that I've learned, all that I've done, I'm like, you know what? Nah.
Yeah, and for an example, like if you go to her YouTube page, you know what I'm saying, and you look at the production quality of some of her videos, keep in mind, like I've got Black Man Unfiltered helping me out, you know what I'm saying, with some of this stuff. She did all of that all by herself, the editing, the shooting, the whole night, everything, the music. Some of the music she sang herself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
so
that's just like Mandrell kept asking me about why you stopped doing your show, I was like, yo, because it ain't no joke. So you know how much work goes into that? That's why for all YouTubers, I tip my hat off to y'all because it's no joke. Yeah, and like people really don't understand that. Why you stop doing your show? Because listen, I'm the writer.
So you've been on Mandrell's ass. That's what you telling us?
You said
You
what?
You been on Mandrell's ass before we got on Mandrell's ass.
Not really. I wouldn't ask.
Okay, I'm liking her now.
What you got before you got anything else before the billions?
Yeah, I was about to ask if you would do it all over again.
You said
Be an
if I would
actor.
do it all over again?
Yes.
If I could do it all over again, would I? Yeah. Yeah, I would. You know, I mean, I would say there are some things I would do a little differently, but if I could do it all over again, yeah, I would.
All right.
Oh, cool.
All right. The one and only OG Patrice. She has 20 plus years experience in show business. Yeah, all right. Yeah, it's still doing it. And I got a question for both of you, and this is on my bullet points. OG Patrice, you there? You with us?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. I sure can.
Hey, OG
Both
Patrice.
Hey, everybody. How y'all doing? Hi, beautiful Shamaria. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. Salute to the panel and the chat.
Right. Now, OG, you and my sister, you can answer this question if you can or not.
Oh, Lord.
Is there an Illuminati? And what is their their deal? Tell us about that.
I'll let your guest answer first.
Listen, I've answered this before. That's why I'm asking you. I ain't getting nothing out of it then. What makes you think I'm getting something out of it now?
I will say this. Speaking for myself, I cannot confirm or deny that because I have not personally witnessed or participated in any like foolishness. But I can say this. I have been told that it is. And
okay,
that's
cool.
all I have to say about that.
OG Patrice, you got 28 plus years experience. I mean, this is your arena right here. This is pretty much all you. You know what I'm saying? What you got for Shamaria? And the panel.
I'll just say what she said.
Right.
See, yeah, both of you.
That's it.
Yeah, but what questions do you have for her? What advice can you give her with someone with so much? That's why I wanted you to come up, OG Patrice. You have copious amounts of experience. You know what I mean? Is there any questions you have for her? Any stories you can share, or any advice for her? You know.
Well, the thing that I like about your sister is that I'm glad she's up here as a young actress, you know, telling the same stories that I've told, right, with my experience. Now, Shamaria, I basically started out in the music industry. That's where the majority of my skill set and experience has come from. Like I've performed and toured all over. I've sang with a lot of famous background for a lot of famous people. Some of them you may know, some of them you may not know, and in some recordings as well. But the system is the same, right? It's all entertainment, and it's all the same type of people that run it. It's all the same situations that we find ourselves in. You know, I've told similar story where I worked for, you know, this famous singer who's a male, and I had a really bad experience with him. And I said I would never work for him again, no matter how much, you know, they paid me. I've seen a lot of things. I've, you know, witnessed a lot of things, and a lot of things that other people have said, like yourself and myself, has been 100% factual regarding the industry. So I'm glad that someone younger is up here, you know, telling your experience. I just got into the acting part of it about 5 years ago. So I've been doing like musical stage plays and things of that nature.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. And I just actually I wrote in the chat earlier, you would have loved. I just came from this past weekend, the Las Vegas Black Film Festival.
Oh, nice.
And,
yeah.
Yeah. And we honored the legendary John Amos, who's the father from Good Times.
Right, yeah.
You know, we gave him an award, and it was so many beautiful people, you know, that were there that were independent filmmakers. And that's why I, you know, said in my other comment is that I think it's so important for uh, content creators that are in film, television, movies, stage plays to start creating their own avenues and doors because it's not that easy to get in the industry. As you said, as an actress, when I got in 20 years ago, it wasn't even as hard as it is now because if you had a relative or somebody in the business, you kind of, which I did, at that's how I got in. But it's if you don't, yeah, you pretty much shit out of luck and on your
Okay.
own.
Okay. Yo.
And out here beating the streets,
Mhm.
hoping and praying, and so many, so many no's before you get that one yes. You have to really have a tough skin to listen. Many nights I cried, for auditions. Like I moved to Vegas 15 years ago with my dream of seeing my name and lights and stuff. And it took me 12 of those 15 years before I got into a production show performing live on the strip. So 12 of those 15 years before I got so many no's before I got a yes. And I know you probably are all familiar with that happening. And you're right, if any artist, whether it be a singer, performer, actor, have definitely thought about giving up, probably have given up and probably started again. I know I did. I stopped for a few years, frustrated. But like you said, the passion and it just calls you back and you start again. So absolutely, you do think that. So I just want to thank you so much for coming up here and telling your perspective and giving your opinions and views on your experience in being in the entertainment industry and just to know that even from 20 plus years where I started to now, not much has changed when it comes to things like the casting couch, things like colorism, things like racism. And that's why I am definitely for pushing independent filmmakers, independent actors and actresses, excuse me, that are doing other things to be seen. So thank you for your perspective.
Oh, no problem. Thank you. You know what's so funny? I did an internship at Capitol Music some years ago. And oddly enough, I was in urban marketing. And so I got to see like the behind the scenes of like how they market and how they push artists. And like they pretty much bottle you up and package you up a certain way and put you out there. And it's funny because this particular artist who was not as big as she is now, like she's like an international superstar now, but she had, but yeah, you know what? It is what it is. So Rihanna was out at the time. She had Umbrella had just came out, and I never forget it because every time I came into the office, like the director of urban marketing would like be blasting like all the hits at the time. He was like blasting them. Like every morning I come in, he'd be blasting it. So my
I said woke up in a Bugatti.
Okay. Hold on. So what was it? There was a new artist they were looking to release. He was supposed to rival Chris Brown at the time. That's who they were trying to make him out to be. That was their plan for him. And so they have a whole like itinerary, like a timeline in terms of like how they're grooming, shaping you, like, from when you go into the gym, interviews, like studio time, writing sessions, all of this stuff, all the way up to the album release. And so my boss at the time, he had me like briefing that. And so I asked him a question about like, it was a question about, I thought it was an error in the timeline. And he was like, oh no, that's right. And, he was explaining to me basically why it's important to send a new artist out before a major artist comes out with their album. Cause he was like, if they have, in order for a new artist to have any chance of like making it or being successful, you cannot release their album at the same time a major artist is coming out because their album will never sell. They'll never make it. And so he was like, you have to establish a fan base. And so he used Rihanna and Beyonce at the time. He was like, who do you think Beyonce's established fan base is? And I gave him like the age range. He was like, yeah. He was like, so if Beyonce put out a trash album, it'll still sell because she has a fan base. He was like, now Rihanna, for example, because her song was playing at the time. He was like, and at the time, she wasn't like solid in the game yet. Like this was right before like she really like was solidified. He was like, now Rihanna put out a trash album. He was like, he was like, who is Rihanna's, set fan base? I was like, I was kind of like at a loss at the time. He was like, yeah. He was like, all it's going to take is for Rihanna to put out a trash album and her career is over. Because at the time she didn't have an established fan base. And then the director of radio was in the room listening while he was explaining it to me. She said, yeah, but let's just be real. She was like, only reason why Rihanna's still putting out music is because she's the boss's girlfriend and he's just playing with her until he's done with having fun with her. Like, bottom line is this, like you said, whether it be music or acting, like entertainment, is still like, it all parallels. So,
remember Mariah Carey and Tommy Mottola?
Huh?
Mariah Carey and Tommy Mottola.
Of course. Of course, yeah. Yeah. They like in music, like, I've heard so many stories of them like signing artists just to shelf them. So they wouldn't rival or be competition for like the major artists.
Tax write-off.
Well, you're speaking truth because a lot of people don't know about how many artists that are now famous that sat on the shelf for so many years and they were session singers. Lady Gaga, Alicia Keys, so many of them. So, and you're definitely speaking facts on what you're saying. So
they do that in acting too. They do that in acting. They'll sign you like, and push you to the wayside. So you won't
holding deals.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Now let's see. Andre Terry. Let's get to him. While you over there in creep mode, brother.
Darkness. Yo, like swamp me out with Ann, yo. That crap was creepy all day, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Lately, get him. He's over Andre Terry.
Yeah, my bad.
Andre, not a problem, brother. How you doing? Thanks for coming out and showing us support.
Listen, y'all got a great show going, man. Sorry, so dark, man. I'm driving. I'm at work.
No problem. We see you driving. Shout out to Blooming Ebony. Thanks for coming up. Thanks for coming out and showing us support.
I don't see nothing. You see something?
Yeah. So what do you got from again? Yes, because I get it all the time. Yes, this is my actual sister, my actual blood sister. Okay, I get it all the time, man.
From who? I never even spoke
from everybody. Like they see my sister, like that's your sister.
Sir.
I'm like, yeah,
I'm everybody.
She's gorgeous.
Sir. I'm everybody, sir.
Nice to meet you, man. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Why you throw the country accent in there, bro?
Right, that's the most polite I've ever heard, Marcus. Okay. People, we got about.
Nice to meet you, darling.
Yeah, we got about 11 more minutes before we go to the after party. So, you want to hang around. Andre, what do you got for her?
So, Shamara, I signed up with 9 Dot Modeling, and they do, I think, agent work for actors and models. Do you think that's a good route to start off at? And do you think it's good for you to open yourself up to modeling and acting because you never know where you can get seen?
You said, what agency was it?
9 Dot.
9 Dot. Mm-hmm. It's because it's this other agency. It's like 9 something. They are fraud. I don't want to say. I don't know if this is the same people. Like if they didn't ask you for any money up front, you cool. But like I said, like you ain't supposed to pay them nothing. Now if they say you need headshots or something like that, that's different. You know what I mean? But if they asking you to pay them something, no, run.
Law enforcement has entered the chat.
Well, I have had experience with that 9 that he's talking about, and they the same ones you're talking about, and they are fraud.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Because you have to pay something. They do ask you to pay something.
Yeah, they do ask you to pay like a monthly fee for them to send you.
And then you're paying them every month. Yep. And then you pay. Yep.
No. A good resource for actors, and this is like, no matter what region you're in, you can be in Atlanta, New York, LA, wherever. Actors Access It's a good site. They have castings and breakdowns on there that are legitimate. Casting directors, legitimate casting directors use this and post breakdowns on there. Another one is casting networks. They post legitimate breakdowns on there. If you're interested in modeling, you can also post like your modeling pictures and stuff like that.
I'm more in acting. I was just talking about the modeling.
Modeling is cool. I mean, it's good side money. I will say that. The only thing is, especially in commercial modeling, you can make some good money off of because I make it just depending on like what the project is. Like you can cash out on that. As far as like runway, that's a totally different animal. You don't want to do that.
No, definitely not. That. You gotta get skinny and be under a certain microscope. No, I'm good with that.
Yeah, right.
My niece is actually going through what you ladies were talking about. She's taking a break right now. I think she was getting a little frustrated with the process and stuff. So we kind of in the mix of trying to encourage her, but also not trying to push her to do what she doesn't want to do.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a real fair line there where you don't want to be like the overbearing parent, because my sister and them have invested a lot of money into her career. So I'm trying to talk to her and keep her kind of level headed with it, because for her, she almost felt like she invested the money for nothing. But I'm like, but you don't also want to be one of those parents who's forcing your kid to do something that they may have fell out of love with, because she's so young, you can go in and out of falling in love with stuff. But
that's true.
She's definitely gotten frustrated with the process.
Well, that's natural. That's gonna happen. I would say keep her in, I say maybe acting classes, or even if it's community theater, like any shows going on in community theater, that would be good. Sometimes or even screenings, because a lot of times they do have screenings and stuff like that, especially she's part of the union now. Where y'all located, or where she located?
They're down by LA. They in Centinela, but so her dad,
their location, they're in LA. They have a lot of different screenings, all kinds of stuff, industry stuff. Tell your sister to take her to those kind of things, because sometimes that's all you need, to be rejuvenated. It's just you know what I mean. All right. I'm gonna get back on this.
If I'm not mistaken, I think she just did a play in South Central, like one of the rec centers or whatever. But her dad actually started up his own talent management company or whatever. So he gets, besides her, a lot of other actors' jobs here in Cali and in Atlanta. So I think they're gonna keep her kind of in the groove, but I can tell just the frustration with my sister as far as, it's regular kid stuff though. One day they want to do it, the next day they because the youngest, they've also got the youngest one into it. She's hilarious because she literally the next day be like, "Yeah, I'm cool."
Gotcha. Now, Marcus, I have to say, this is the most polite I've ever seen you. I've seen you be.
Well, we do have a special guest, sir, and so we don't want to be rude.
Okay. Now, Marcus, what do you have to contribute to the conversation? Questions, comments? Concerns?
I just wanted to ask her a question, if I can.
You may.
What would be? Thank you. What would be something that inspired you as far as film and the acting business? Like whether it was an actor, actress, movie, that got you to say, "Hey, I want to be acting."
You, Tommy B. So,
it's Tommy B. Very quick, Tommy.
Wait, what happened?
It was a feedback.
Yeah, there you go. Now go ahead, Marcus.
No, I was just gonna say, what was was it a certain specific film or actor or actress that inspired you to say, "Hey, I want to get into that"? Or when you saw a play, was it a certain movie in particular that wanted you to get into the industry?
Nah, you know what it was? Because I've always been a writer. I was a writer first. When I was younger, I would always I would start writing short stories. Then I moved up to trying to write my first feature. I'll never forget that. I was 13. And then when I got to high school, I went to one of those like college prep schools, and I had to do a project, like it's basically like to learn this editing software, and I put together a music video. And I thought it was so dope. I was like, this is it. This is what I want to do the rest of my life. And then I got to college and I ended up getting into acting because the college that I ended up going to, they didn't have like a film and television program. So like the closest thing they had to entertainment was theater. So I ended up majoring in theater. And it was like the first role I got, it was in a play called 6 Characters in Search of an Author. And I was playing like this, they call it, the title of the role was The Old Character Lady. And so like, I had this moment, I was on stage and like one of the other characters was supposed to take my hat. And I was just like, nah, you can't have my hat. And when she came over to try and take it, I said, back up, give me 50 feet. And like the audience went crazy. I was like, yo, this is it. And it's just, I don't know, it's just kind of like unraveled from there because when I finished at Alabama State University, that's where I went for undergrad, I got accepted to a program here in New York. And that was a really dope program because like they brought in like, you know, agents to talk to us. They brought in photographers, like just giving, you know, telling us about, you know, the basics of headshots. You know, they had a whole class that taught us about like, you know, how to get yourself set up, like as far as like how to get yourself going with how to find an agent and all this other stuff. And I just kind of like kept rocking with that. I was like, all right, I'm already on this path. Let me keep going.
Oh, nice.
That's cool. That's dope. Awesome.
Yeah, like I said.
Thank you for answering.
That was a good origin story. I like that.
Yeah, this is the true talent of the family, man. I'm telling you, she's bad.
May I ask Samaria a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you see yourself in the near future? I mean, still writing and maybe even writing a film again, whether it be short film, documentary, a mini series, like, I mean, because I think as an actress, you see a different perspective, right, too, as like a writer, like a role that you would play or you would see someone else playing. Like, do you see yourself in the near future, maybe even still continuing to write for film and television?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I have my own production company. It's called Manipulating Mainstream Media. The video that they played in the beginning was a trailer for my documentary. Initially, I was going to make it like a series, but I decided I'm currently in the process of putting it, editing it into a feature, and I'm going to put it on Amazon. What else? I have a short film that I also have to put together because it's the footage is shot and everything. I just have to get it edited together. And I plan on putting that into some film festivals and just continuing going with that.
I want to be in it.
Awesome. Well, I would definitely like to encourage you for next year if you're prepared.
I'm gonna call it Pitch Black with Andrew Terry.
Hold on, Marcus. What'd you say, OG?
No, I just wanted to say to her, that I definitely want to encourage her as she prepared to do that with the film is to make sure she submit her film work or any work she has as a writer to the Las Vegas Black Film Festival. Next year we'll be celebrating 10 years. And when I tell you it's a very awesome experience, I met with Lettucey's team because Lettucey, the singer Lettucey, she just did the Mahalia Jackson movie, right, where she portrayed the late great gospel singer Mahalia Jackson, and her producers and creators of that film was there, and they won 3 awards. So I'm talking about a great connection. So maybe you and I can have a conversation or something later on in the back, and I can tell you more about that. And if you're interested in definitely submitting your film or any type of work you have, and this even actors and actresses that are there too, they have this thing called the Actor Showdown, where a bunch of actors come from all over and they compete. They do a monologue and they compete, and whoever wins gets a lead role in the founder's next film. So
Oh wow!
it's really cool stuff. So yeah, just a thought if you're interested.
Well, I'm definitely interested. Yeah, we gonna talk.
Okay, sounds good.
Right, OG, leave your email address in the back chat if you could, just so the two of you can stay
You know
in
what,
contact.
Mandrell, listen.
Yes, ma'am.
Black Man Unfiltered has my email address and my number. He's the only one that has my personal number. Reach out to him.
All right,
and give
no
your
problem.
your sister whatever she needs. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
God bless
All
you.
right. And you too.
All right, everybody.
I'm gonna tell you don't.
Yeah, I will. You know it.
I'm gonna tell y'all something. Mandrell used to be like so mean to me when we was growing up. He used to try and make me the little brother he never had.
Why?
Like,
He's like Shamiria. He's like 5'4". He's like 5'3". You ain't gotta be scared of him.
No, I tried to teach her to defend herself.
He used to always snatch the remote and make me watch football with him. Talking about, so you need to watch football. You want to get a boyfriend, or you won't have to watch football so you understand what's going on. Like he's just so mean.
No, I was not. I was trying to teach her.
Shame on you, Mandrell. Shame on you.
I was trying to give her the tools to relate to
Shamira. I found out. Shamira, I found out Mandrell's weakness is a Happy Meal. Just go take him to the drive-thru and buy him a Happy Meal. He'll be fine. Give him that toy.
Because another short joke. Thanks, Marcus. All right, everybody. We're about to close it out. I was not mean to her ever in life. Nothing but love. I gave her the tools she needed to navigate life. Look, she's in New York, surviving, thanks to me. Thanks to me and the tools I gave her, her older brother. That's right.
Of course.
But all right, everybody.
Now he wants to come in, Shamiria. He wants to take all the credit now.
Of course.
No,
you know what I mean?
Let's move on to final thoughts. Let's start with Marcus.
Oh man, well, I just want to show support and show respect, because you were having your sister as a family member, So I know we just came from another one talking about veterans and our lifestyle. Now we want to talk about the experience life of Shamiria, and it's cool, hearing from specifically. I love acting. I love movies and film and that kind of entertainment. So it's awesome to hear people's origins and their stories. That's why I asked that specific question. So I appreciate you being here and you humbling us with your presence and be able to answer the questions and just be overall just a good person. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Right. And also, everybody, hang back if you want to for afterwards, after the broadcast, because she'll be here for a few more minutes. I mean, she can't stay up all night. Curfew. Yes.
Andre curfew.
Andre
Hashtag modern woman. Don't do me. Oh
Lord.
Don't do me.
Don't do me.
Samaria,
I don't need no man telling me what to do. You don't tell me what to do.
Right, there it
Hashtag
is.
modern woman. Don't do it.
Somebody cast her in the role as the ghetto ratchet sister from the hood.
Right. It's great. Like she and I laugh about that all the time, though. This whole modern woman thing, like we trip out about it because it's funny.
The modern sister from the hood.
Okay.
Right. All right, Andre Terry, what you got for us? Final thoughts, man.
Shamiria, I'm serious. I want to be in your film. I'm dead serious.
I got you, Andre.
Listen, I'll drop my email in the back and I'm staying on to the end of the jump. But it's a good show. Mandrell, you funny as hell, yo. You had me cracking up at the last show last night, man. I was thinking about it all night long. Shamiria, don't you think your brother should do stand-up comedy?
He can.
No, she is the one who did stand-up comedy and she killed it. She went to Caroline's. Like
really?
Great Pill, yeah. If you interview or in the New York area,
and I'm in Philly
Caroline's
too, so I'm just a hop away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're in the Northeast. You know what Caroline's Comedy Club is. She went up there a couple of times and slayed it.
That's what's up. That's dope.
Yeah, talent,
ladies and gentlemen. I'm getting the voice from Oz in my ears. So I don't. Any other questions or conversations, we can have it backstage. So please keep the closing short and brief so we can cancel.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
All right, Andre, thank you. All right, next, Great Pill Podcast.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Shameless plug. You catch me every Tuesday, Saturday. Great Pill Podcast. I definitely appreciate Mandrell bringing the sister up here. Hopefully, I will say this though. everything Miss OG said. I'm sure you're gonna do it, but take that everything she said to like, because opportunities, great networking. You will never know when them opportunities that we spoke of earlier that will come up. You know what I'm saying? And I would love to be that person, like, you know, in the back of the screen, like, I know her. You know, because my cousin, she does her little thing up in Atlanta, and when she send me these little clips of pictures of and her in the Black Panther movies and upcoming stuff, and I'm a big geek, so when I see her in these films, I actually love, and I'm parading and so proud of her for doing it. So hopefully, sometime in the future, I can get y'all two together. Y'all have your little, you know, a little conversation amongst each other. You know, so thank you for being you, and again, I'm blessed just to know Mandrell, which becomes an extension of you. So I appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Great Pill. Appreciate that. Also, remember, everybody, go to Great Pill Podcast, like and subscribe to that brother's channel. Fire content over there. Hands down, all up and down. That brother does not miss. Okay? Fire content over there, Great Pill Podcast. Also, another fantastic content creator we're going to bring up for Fun of Thoughts. Before the Billions.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much for that intro. And you know what? I wanted to add on to that when you was like, he don't miss. In the heat of battle, he don't miss. So I want to go ahead and give you a shout out, Mandrell. Thank you so much for having me up. It's a pleasure to meet your sister. Really do appreciate the conversation that you guys had today. A great discussion. We learned a lot. And just to hear your experience is humbling, but also extremely informative to people who may also want to get into acting as well. So not only hearing all the great things, but also some of the mistakes and things that you may regret is also very beneficial and valuable. So thank you so much for having this conversation.
No problem. I just want to say it's definitely been a pleasure meeting all of you. This is like so awesome. Like
I had to give Candid in and everybody else their Fun of Thoughts.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I won't be long. I promise I won't be long.
Yeah. There you go, Candid in.
I just wanted to say thank you for coming up on here. And this has been a pleasure because normally when we see Mandrell, he's very staunch and opinionated. And as you said, like, you know, can be very rigid in certain things. So to see him come on here and to smile so much and to laugh so much and to see a family side of him, it's really been a pleasure. So, you know, thank you for sharing her with us, Mandrell. And it's wonderful to see such a beautiful Black woman out here in New York City. I'm from the Bronx, originally from the Bronx.
Nice.
And
Okay.
yeah. My family's from Barbados. So,
Oh, wow.
and I was a little hurt with that Rihanna comment, but I'm gonna still forgive you. I'm gonna still forgive you on that one. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on here and sharing some of your knowledge with us. And yeah, take care.
Thank you. You too.
All right, we got the one and only OG Patrice. Yes, sir. Hey, you just extended your network tonight, baby sis.
No, and I definitely want to, if you don't mind, if she's staying after it's over, I have something I want to say to her that's private. So,
okay,
but I want to thank you, Mandrell, for allowing me to come on and talk to your sister and meet her. She's beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome, and I wish you all continued success in your future endeavors in your career. So yeah, thanks. I just appreciate the opportunity of even being able to speak with you and being able to hear your perspective, as well as a fellow artist in the entertainment industry. So thank you for that.
Definitely. And we'll be in touch too.
Yeah, but when he closes out, I really need to tell you something privately.
Okay.
No problem.
All right.
All right. Yeah, so hang back for us, OG, and she'll hang back. Last but never least, my partner in crime here. Look at it. This is my dog right here, man.
I had to go run and change some diapers, dog. No, I appreciate the show. It was really, really good show. I appreciate the information that you gave. I'm gonna send my sister this show. She's well versed in the industry, so she might know some of the stuff. She might not. I'm gonna send it to her just in case, and probably have my niece look at it too, because there's some real good information in here. But yeah, I just want to wish you good luck. You know, I know it's a super tough industry, and yeah, I appreciate you taking your time out to speak on it.
Oh, no problem.
All right, Tommy B. All right, and to us, well, to you, remember, don't leave the studio until I tell you. Okay. So, yeah, what are your final thoughts that you'd like to tell the audience? Thanks for doing this, by the way.
Oh, no problem.
Again.
Thank you for having me on. I really had a good time doing this. I'm just like, oh, my brother. And then thank you to everybody for tuning in. I also want to say it's definitely been a pleasure meeting everybody. And yeah, for anybody who's interested in the industry, definitely get your headshots and, get out there and just do the groundwork. Be patient, because it doesn't come overnight. But, if you're passionate about it, don't get discouraged, and don't let anything deter you. And for those who are in the game, who are in the struggle, keep going. It is a hustle, it is a struggle, but you can do it. So yeah, that's it.
Okay, yeah. All right. So that's our show for this week. I hope this is a good another good show. You know what I mean? You guys know that I do the best I can.
Thank you. And I'm sorry I wasn't trying to be like in the comments too much, because I wasn't trying to be like distracted, like looking down and then looking up and then like, right. You know what I mean? Looking like I'm just all like spacey and stuff like that. But while responding, so. And see, that's the
I was the opposite. Like when I first started this, I had to learn to pay attention to the comments because I ignored them.
Really?
When I first started, I ignored the comment section. May as well not have been there. I mean, like Black Man Unfiltered is like, listen, man, pay attention to the comments, acknowledge the comments, keep the audience engaged. I was like, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Because what I didn't want to happen is I'd be like, yeah, and yeah. Oh, thank you, Harmony Pill. Like that's real. Thank you. I appreciate that though, for real. And I appreciate just everybody for commenting. Everybody, especially like for everybody's like, oh, she's so gorgeous. I appreciate that. Y'all so sweet. Tighten your ass up. Okay. Some of the comments I had to like and not look at because I wanted to laugh so bad. Right? I was like, no, I'm not gonna do it. So short people lives matter. Yo, I can't.
See the comment section. I knew it was coming. Man.
I love y'all too. Thank y'all so much. This is so dope. So dope.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming out to support. And don't forget to go to my sister's YouTube channel, #ActorsLife. Yeah. I'm going to drop it in the comment section once again. Again, super dope content over there she's producing. And she did all herself. Lots of hard work. Yeah. All right. Yeah, go show her some love. Like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell for whenever she drops something else. All right. That's our show this week. Thanks for coming out. See you next week.